This is Rili. I'm 34. I don't have a regular job, and I live alone in Shanghai, where everyone seems busy and nothing feels cheap. But I found my own pace, slower, quieter, with more time to enjoy. And somehow, I've managed to survive here. Let me show you what an ordinary weekday in my life looks like. It's a weekday morning in Shanghai, and while I'm still waking up, much of the city is already on its way to work. 4 years ago, I was one of them. Now, I'm 34. Most mornings, there's no boss, no office schedule, and no time clock telling me what I have to do or where I need to be. That sounds like freedom, and it is. But freedom comes with a surprisingly practical question. What do you do with a whole day that belongs entirely to you? And how do you keep one quiet day from dissolving into the next, into repetition and sometimes loneliness? Even with all that freedom, I still give each day a basic structure. Without one, it's surprisingly easy to drift. I brush my teeth on the balcony, then stay there in the morning light for a few minutes. Apparently, it can make a real difference to how you feel for the rest of the day. Every morning at 7 o'clock, I leave home and head to a cafe to work. It's still early, but big city like Shanghai has a way of making you feel late even when no one is telling you to hurry. Before I leave, I start the 3D printers. While I work outside, the printers keep running at home, bringing in a little income while I'm away, useful when a monthly paycheck is no longer guaranteed. There are a few spots near my apartment that I like to work from. I usually walk, but today it's just too hot, so I'm taking a shared bike instead.
So I usually walk from one of two cafes. And every time when I reach this intersection, if the traffic light is green, I'll go straight to the cafe A. And if it's red, I'll turn left to the cafe B.
Today, the light is red, so I'm going to turn left. It's a very small disruption, but it works. I actually wanted to go to the other cafe today, so I'll pretend my boss has just assigned me something I'd rather not do.
You know, people with regular jobs deal with all kinds of unexpected things every day. Requested from bosses, co-workers, friends, families, right? But when you live alone and work alone, you have to introduce a little bit unpredictability yourself, just to keep every day from becoming a copy of the last.
I pick up my coffee, head upstairs, and settle into my favorite spot. There's plenty of sunlight and a wide view of the street below. As someone who lives alone, watching the crowds go by makes me feel a little more connected to the city. For the next few hours, I catch up on the news, organize some files, check my orders, and finish several designs for the 3D printing jobs. The real challenge of freelance work is learning to stay organized when nobody is managing you to do good work without anyone checking, and to push through the difficult parts when nobody is there to make you finish. Sometimes I look around and wonder what everyone else is doing. Someone is taking a meeting through their headphones. Someone else is studying. And one person appears in the same seat so regularly and so punctually that by now I feel like we're co-workers. Around 12:30, after about 5 hours of work, I ride home. The printers have been running while I've been away, and the finished pieces are waiting for me.
I think 3D printing is like sheep grazing or physical vibe coding, you know? You set it up, walk away, and the sheep can feed itself, grows, and become valuable. A few hours later, you can actually sell them for money. Wow.
Of course, sometimes the sheep suddenly drops dead in the field. But today's print survived, and it looks pretty good. I check the pieces, remove the supports, and get everything ready to pack. This may be my favorite part of the workday, not only because shipping an order means I can finally get paid, but because working with my hands calms me down. I slip into a rhythm, enter a kind of flow, and simply enjoy the moment. The process is repetitive, but I don't mind repetition when I can see what it produces. A file becomes an object. The object becomes a parcel. Soon, it will join thousands of other packages moving across China and, if all goes well, reach the customer tomorrow morning. At around 4, I stop working and head out to exercise. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I swim. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I go to the gym. Having a routine is a good thing. It helps me stay healthy and gives me a sense of control over my life. Today is Wednesday, so I'm here for a swim. After a day of screens, the pool makes my mind quiet very quickly. There are no messages to answer and no tabs to switch between. There's only the next lap, the sound of water, and my unreliable attempt to remember how many laps I've completed. An hour later, I'm tired, but it's a happier, more relaxing kind of tired than the heaviness of sitting at a desk all day. Before leaving the pool, I checked my locker number. If it was odd, I'd eat out tonight. If it was even, I'd buy groceries and cook at home. But why did I make this rule in the first place, instead of simply deciding based on what I felt like eating?
When you live alone, nobody's watching what you eat, right? And if you go out for every meal, it's surprisingly easy to find yourself living on junk food. And before long, your house starts sending warning signals. So I need a rule that occasionally force me to buy groceries and cook something healthy for myself.
The place I come back to most often is this neighborhood canteen. When you walk in and see the room full of local grandmas and grandpas, it's usually a very good sign. Familiar flavors, fair prices, and fresh ingredients. Today I'm having Shanghai-style cold noodles, a classic summer dish here. The noodles are cooked, cooled, and mixed with sweet vinegar and creamy peanut sauce, then topped with whatever sides you like. It's cool, tangy, and surprisingly satisfying on a hot day. When I get home, the first thing I do is sit on the balcony and watch the sun go down. Honestly, this view is my favorite thing about the apartment I live in now. Once it gets dark, I light a stick of incense, put on some music, and sit on the sofa with a book. I used to read a lot of books about how to become successful and improve yourself. Eventually, I realized they weren't much help. Learning how to live your own life is something you can only do by living it one ordinary day at a time. At around 10, I brush my teeth and get into bed. If I'm already tired, I put on a TV series. If I still have some energy, I play video games for an hour, then open a YouTube video and wait for sleep to arrive. Either way, by around 11:30, I'm almost certainly asleep. I still don't know whether living this way, alone at 34, is the right answer. But at least I've built a life that brings me some peace. Bringing a camera into it makes me organize my room and my half-formed thoughts. It also gives me a reason to explore more of Shanghai and China and preserve memories before they fade. I'm not filming to prove that my life is extraordinary. I just don't want these ordinary days to disappear without a trace. If my scattered thoughts or what it's like for an ordinary person to live alone in China interest you, subscribe and leave a comment. I'll do my best to reply.